Okay, so for this video, I'll be showing to you the solution of your midterm exams. So your midterm exams, the instructions is to write a menu-driven C program to do the following. So letter A is to enter float values in an array with 30 elements. B, display these elements in a 6x5 matrix. Then C, display, when an option is pressed, the sum average of all elements of the array as well as the highest and lowest value among the elements. And then D is also an option to sort the array. So before I will show you the source code, let us try to run the program first. So compile and run. So here you can see that we have the menu, and these are exactly what the program requires. So to enter the values, to arrange or sort the values, display the array in a 6x5 matrix, and show summary that will show the sum, average, highest, and lowest. And of course, we have an option to quit the program. So if you click on letter E, then this will now allow us to enter the values. So let's try to enter values. So I have entered here 30 values. So after that, so press any key to continue. So once I press any key, so it will be showing us the menu again. So you notice I also added here some sort of a counter so that I will know that I have already entered 30 values. So there I have entered the values. So first let us display the array. So these are the values that I have entered displayed in a 6x5 matrix. So this is the first number that I entered, second, and then of course this is the last number that I've entered. So formatted into with 2 decimal places. So once I press the key again, so it goes back to our main menu. Then I can click on S to show the summary. So it's a sum and the average, the highest, and the lowest values. Press any key again. So again, I'll display the array. So that's the original arrangement. Now I click on arrange to sort the array. So I just finish sorting. And then once I display again, you notice that the elements are now sorted from lowest to highest. So that's now the output of our program. Now let's try to examine the source code. So to quit, press letter Q. So that quits our program. And let's now examine the source code. So what I did here is first we declared these variables as global variables so that we can use them inside our functions. So first I have the array of 30 float values and highest, lowest. So of course there will be also float value, sum, and average. So if you're going to look at this program, these are our main functions. So basically that is also what I've placed here. So it will show us the menu, then we have a method to enter values, so enter float values. We have a method to display the array. We have a method to sort the array, and we have a method to, or a function, to display the summary. So this is to observe, so this is the declaration of the functions. So the implementation will be below our main program. So in our main program, first I have here a character that will accept the user input. And then I have here my menu. So while answer is not equal to Q, because you notice Q will be my answer to quit the program. So while the user will not quit, what are we going to do, or what will the program do? The program will display the menu and also accept the user input. So when the user presses the character of his choice, then that will be processed by the program. So if it is E, that means we're going to enter values. If it is A, that means we're sorting, or that's arranging the values, so we sort the array. If it is S, that is to display the summary. If the user press D, that will be display the array. So until the time that the user press Q, that is when we quit and return 0 or exit the program. So basically that's the program will do. So what is important now is how are we going to do the code for the following. So first, the menu. So the menu basically just display the options. So E, A, D, S, Q, E to enter values, arrange, display, show summary, quit the program. So we just display this and then get the user choice. So prompt the user to enter E, A, D, S, Q and then get the user choice. So we use here get CH converted to uppercase, so that we don't need to test for the lowercase anymore. We just have to test for the uppercase. So that's the menu. And then enter values. So basically we have here a loop from 1 to 30, 0 to 30 or 0 to 29. So we just have here some sort of headings, and then loop from 0 to 39, prompt the user. So I plus 1 here is our counter. So plus 1 because we started with 0. And then we have here our scanf to enter the values of the array. So we do that 30 times. And at the same time, we already have to test for our lowest and highest and the sum and the average. So if it is our first element, we will assume, or we will our initial highest value is the first element, and also the lowest value is the first element. So that in the succeeding values, if the current value is higher than the highest, we just replace the highest value with that current element. So we just replace it with the current element. Sorry with the spelling. And if the current array element is lower than the lowest value, so that's why we have here lesser than, lower than the lowest value, then we replace the lowest value with the value of the array. And here is we accumulate for the sum. So once the loop is done for 30 times, we can now compute for the average. So by dividing sum by 30, and then we just pause and get CH. Then we have here our bubble sort. So we have swap true or false. So let's say assume it first to be true. 1 is true and 0 is false. And integer I will be our counter, float T for our temporary value. So I have some sort of this will clear the screen. So we have here a loop, some sort of a feedback, just to see if the sorting is ongoing, especially for if you have a big number of elements in the array, but we have 30 here, so we cannot see the much difference. But okay, so this is while swap is true. That means there's still swapping that is being done while we are passing, or while we are comparing the elements. So to start comparing, we first reset swap flag to 0 or false, so that if this changes to 1, then that means there's still swapping that is going on while we're comparing the adjacent elements. So what we're going to do here now is to loop from 0 to the second to the last element. That's why we use 29 here, not 30. So then we compare the adjacent element. So I indexed by I and I plus 1, these are the two adjacent elements. So if they're not in the proper order, so let's say we are arranging this from lowest to highest, so this element should be lower than this element. But if it is not, that means it is higher, then we swap their positions. So to swap, we copy this to temporary, and then copy the adjacent element to this value, and then copy the temporary value to this element. So we have already discussed this one. Then that means also that if we did this, swapping was done. So switch flag back to yes. So we do this repeatedly until the time that swap here, this will not be swap will not be switch. The switch plug will not be turned to yes. Then that means that the array is already sorted. So we just place the finish sorting and then press any key to continue. To display the array, so we just have the proper headings and then loop from 0 to 29, so lesser than 30. Then we just display the values. So I just use 10.2f, so with 2 decimal places, then spaces, and then another space here, so each element. But notice I have any backslash n, so that will be printed on the same line. But if I reach my 5th element, so that means that if I divide I by 5, the remainder is 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that's my last element for the row. And then I place a printf backslash n to go to the next line, so that I'll have a 6 by 5 matrix. And then that's it. So it will just be a separator, and then press any key to continue, so get ch. So display the summary. We just display the values of sum, average, highest, and lowest. So I just formatted them using 12.2f. And of course, it's some sort of arrangement. And then post get ch. So that's now the source code of the program. And I'll be placing this to be available in the description of this video. Thank you very much.